Welcome to another episode where we are sitting down with one of our members. I am joined by Coach Vinay and also our lovely member, Ami. Welcome, Ami.
Hey
Um,
guys,
I'm going to ask Ami we're going to dive straight in, and I'm going to ask Ami just to introduce herself and just give us a little bit of a background as to who she is, what she does, and sort of, what her life currently looks like. So, yeah, Ami, go for it. Hello.
Hi, Nikhil. Hi, Vinay. Thank you. Hi, I'm Amee. I'm a pharmacist by profession, and yeah, that's what I do full time. And I have a lovely 6-year-old boy and a husband. So just pretty much that's what my life revolves around at the moment. But yeah, that's a little bit around me.
Awesome. Thank you. So, yeah, busy mum, working sort of full time. You've got a 6-year-old, so that keeps you on your toes. So, very relatable to a lot of people. Amazing. Why did you reach out? What sort of wanted you, or what sort of was happening that sort of made you want to make a change?
My thinking process of making a change was literally straight after when my son was born. But unfortunately, I couldn't do that at that time because it was full on. Adjusting to be a new mom was quite hard. My husband works abroad quite a lot, so sometimes to do a lot of changes was quite difficult.
Mhm.
However, I think the beginning of this year in January, I decided I needed to do something. But actually, the one thing that really hit hard to me was when I was in the park with my son, and running was a really difficult chore, and he was running with the football, and I couldn't keep up with him, and I was getting really out of breath. I have a family full of healthcare professionals, and my father-in-law, he mentioned as well. He goes, "Oh, you're walking, and why are you getting out of breath so easily?" So there was that one of the reasons why I thought, I need to do something with myself. I also then recently visited the doctors, and they told me I was borderline diabetic, borderline cholesterol. So I really needed a wake up call. I had a friend who was already part of your program who had a really good chat with, who then motivated me to basically reach out to you. And here I am, about 10 months into the program. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons why, few of the reasons why I decided to join.
That's really great. Like everyone's got a backstory. Same Nick, I remember Nick saying it to me, like, "Well, Nick was just going down the slide or something like that."
Yeah, that was when I was
Um,
really, really
for
young.
me,
So,
for me, was the doctor's wake up call again. So everyone's got their backstory, which is great to hear. And as you know, you've got 6 year old, I've got kids, Nick's got kids. It's nice to run around with them and just feel like you can keep up the pace. Um, and bringing that in perspective, right? What would you then say that your day looked like before joining Affinity with like child, husband, everything? Like what was it like before even being part of the program?
So look, I've always had a very busy life because it's just me, my husband, and my son. And I work full time. So it was about pickups, drop-offs. My typical day would involve the car a lot. I would be driving everywhere. So starting work, dropping my son to nursery at that time, coming back, doing the pickups. Literally by the time it was about 8 o'clock, completely tired in the evening. But actually, that's when I started. I used to have my dinner, then I used to sludge around on the couch. I used to just do nothing. So there was movement, but there was no form of proper exercise. But that was my typical day. Busy, but yet no routine, no thought process on what to eat, what not to eat, just ate what you did. I actually used to have a lot of takeaways as well because, it was just really busy. So I used to, cook for my son, but then by the time it came down to me and my husband, we would end up ordering a takeaway because that just was an easier option. That's what my day used to look like before I joined
okay.
the program.
Very like go, like fast paced drop offs work. And then by the time you finally settle your son and everything like that, when it's time to look after yourselves, it's just like quick convenience, easiest option. By the way, since being in the program 10 months, you mentioned, running around in the park. Are you now running around in the park with your son?
I am running around. I do not use the car anymore. Very rarely. I do my steps. So it's been a complete game changer. Complete game changer. So I do definitely run around. I am not out of breath anymore now. So yeah, it's been fabulous.
Ami is a power walker. So like every month we do, or every month we try to sort of do a group walk, and she is there at the top of the group, power walking away, getting her steps in. So yeah, really, really good. Okay, on that subject, 10 months in. Can you please articulate for us and just give the listener and anyone else that's sort of seeing this or viewing this sort of where are you now? Like talk to us about like results, the time working with us, like how much you've lost, how your body has changed, just energy, mood, like just everything that's happened as a result of being in the program.
So, like, everything's changed. This has probably been the most I've ever lost in my entire life. I've never been on a bigger scale. Anyway, to start off with, the biggest I've been
Mhm.
is after I had my son, but this was the biggest. So therefore, I had the most to lose. I've lost, as of my weight this morning, 18 kilos over the last 10 months. What's what's been with this? Why this program? So, again, there's a few things. So my coach, my fantastic coach, he's made me learn to be accountable. I do this as part of my job where I preach others to be accountable. He's actually taught me to be accountable, which has been fantastic. The I think the minute I had I still remember the one thing that Nick said to me: only join if you want to be part of the program and you're going to show results, in a sense that you are completely and fully motivated, you're completely mentally present, you're going to give it your best shot. If you're still in a decision stage, whether you don't know you're doing or you're going to do it, then think about it and come back to me. And I think that's when I thought, you know what, if I'm doing this properly.
Mm.
The first couple of weeks, I will say, was a little bit challenging because there was a lot around, things that it's a complete change, isn't it? It's a complete change of your lifestyle. So it did take a couple of weeks, but once you're in it, that's it. So now the car's gone. I walk everywhere to the train station and back. I make, because basically my mindset is, by the time it's 4 o'clock and I haven't hit my 10,000 steps, it's that much more longer I have to work in the evening to make sure that I have to reach those steps. So I try and get my 10,000 steps done before it's 4 o'clock. So I walk everywhere. If I have to go to the shops, and I don't take the car anymore. I take my son on the scooter everywhere as well. So he's fair amount of walking done and release of energy as well. I think in terms of that, the food's been a really good game changer as well. I was never told what to eat and what you can't eat. What I was told was map and understand what you're eating and make sure you stay within your calories. And I think that's really, really important. There's no restriction. So if I wanted to eat something, I can. The other thing is I have a very active social life as well. So again, it's about planning in ahead. So look at the menu. So my coach always, Vinay always said, look at the menu before you go in so you know exactly what you're eating. And actually the dinners were really, really good. And I could enjoy a glass of wine when I wanted to now and again. And I did enjoy my meal as well, but I was conscious of what I was eating and it was mapped through the course of the day. I've in turn, because of my weight loss journey as well, inspired a lot of other women and a lot of other people to actually talk to me about the weight loss journey, talk to me about what we're doing differently. And I've seen a lot of people making their own changes as well, and which is really, really good to see because you're actually helping to motivate other people as well. And the other thing was the exercise. I try not to think of it as a chore. I think of it as part of my routine. So actually, it's not a bother. Even if it's at 10 o'clock at night to go to the gym, I still go because that's probably the only time in the night I get, or in the day I get to go to the gym. But I make sure I do what I have to do. So I think it's those like a few things that, has made my mindset change in a lot of things. Obviously, when the weight loses, people comment, "Oh, it looks nice, it feels nice." Definitely. My husband said I looked nice. That's definitely an icing on the cake for sure. And so does my son. So they're my two people who are quite who always encourage me. So yeah, it's just been a really a good game changer for me. But mainly it's around being accountable, and those messages I get from Vinay at the end of the day. Are you there? Have you been good? Have you not been good? And even if I haven't been good, let's change it. So I think that's been really, really good for me. If I would sum it up.
100%. I like what
Okay.
you said about sort of when we first spoke, and I said, hey, look, Ami, if you're like umming and ahhing about this, then go away and think about it. I want you to come in if you're fully ready to do this. But it's not even about like coming in and having this like hardcore discipline and anything like that. Like, we don't expect this. This is not like a military boot camp style thing. We just want you to engage and sort of put your hand up when you're stuck and sort of just be very responsive and engaging because that's how we can help you and solve people's problems and things like that. So yeah, and you've been brilliant at that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure there has been ups and downs through the journey. It hasn't been smooth sailing. And on the surface, people might see this and see, wow, 18 kilos, she's feeling great, she's running around in the park. But I'm sure through the process, it wasn't just all down, down, down. There might have been some tough days, some tough weeks, and things like that, right?
Absolutely. And the tough days are because you're trying to juggle work, home, kids, and all that kind of stuff. And I think for me, where I struggled the most was holidays because suddenly I have never been to a gym on a holiday. My version of holiday was a beach, plonk myself on it for the entire period of the 7 days and do nothing and just eat and drink. But that really changed. I could still do everything of that. I could still relax. I could still enjoy a drink and food, but yet exercise. And actually, if I didn't do the exercise, I felt not guilty, but I didn't feel right because it's part of my routine. What was really good is when I was away in April and I had put on also support I got given with Vinay after that. Okay, fine, it's bound to happen. Let's now work on it to get back on track. So I think that's there. And you're absolutely right. There was no dictatorship. There was more of a support, coach, mentor, and actually help us with the right mindset in this whole program. And this is one of the reasons why I've still stuck, despite, still stuck for all this time because I've just seen that it's really worked well with me and with the way I work and the way my home life works. So I'm very glad I actually chose you guys. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
You,
Just while, sorry, Vinay, sorry to interject.
sorry,
This
go
is
ahead.
just coming into my head. So I just want to ask a little bit sort of off the script, but Ami, you mentioned like home life. You've got a really busy sort of job and things like that, and a lot of people will put things off because of the reservation of time. Maybe you even put things off because it was just like my life is crazy. I can't do this right now. There's no time. Now, in sort of hindsight, has it taken up a lot of your time or as much time as you thought something like this would?
No, it hasn't. I just don't know why I didn't do this a year ago or 2 years ago. It hasn't taken much of my time. It's just about planning, organization, and routine. And I think as long as you've got that in place, it's just worked. I don't think I've ever sat back and thought, "Oh God, this is so ridiculous," or "This is so hard. Why did I sign up?" And this is a true, it's not just because we're doing this, but in the last 10 months, not one day have I regretted my decision in joining, on doing what I'm doing. And actually, I think one of the plus side is when you see the weight dropping, who doesn't like to see the weight dropping? Who doesn't like to get a whole new wardrobe of clothes? Who doesn't like to feel that I'm now able to fit into clothes I could fit in 10 years ago? Who doesn't like that feeling? And I think that's what keeps you going, right? Because you're losing it. And the minute you feel, oh my God, this is getting a bit tight, right? I need to do something about it. Who doesn't like it? Um, who doesn't like the compliments you get given? Whether it's the school moms or whether it's this family who haven't seen you for a long time. Yeah, it's just, and that keeps you going because you know you're doing the right thing, and yet you're eating everything you can. You're having a really good balanced diet. You're exercising. You're doing all the right things. You've got the right energy. I still remember, Nick, this was a while back. At this one point when I felt like I was really overweight. When I used to drive, I used to feel sleepy. And I think that was down to the excessive weight. And I haven't felt that in 10 months. I haven't felt that at all. So these all things, they give you the adrenaline to even do even better. So I think that's what it is.
Good. So seeing results and like
Yeah.
seeing changes is what sort of kept you motivated and sort of pushing you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And you
And
briefly, yeah, sorry, Amy, go for it.
yeah, and I think, it's just that the support the group has, the wider group has as well. When you see other people doing what they're doing, and the gazillion steps they're doing, and the weight loss journey they've had, it's inspirational. When we have our monthly or our bike, we used to have those walks together. Just met such amazing people in that networking, and everybody who's been through the same journey. Some have reached their journey, some are still in the start of it, but it's just amazing. So I think the network of people was great as well, and the group chats that keep it live. Oh my God, I've done my 2 kilometers walk. Okay, well, I'm going to go and do it now. Well, she's done it or he's done it. Why do I need to miss out? And actually, I would have never ever done what I'm doing now in November, where I'm going to be doing the Young Lives versus Cancer 30-mile walk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I would have never even thought about it. It's not a huge thing because I think a mile a day is not a huge thing, but actually it's still something out of my comfort zone that I've never done before. So yeah.
That's
Awesome.
amazing. I think you and Nirma are
You
both
should
doing it.
challenge yourself a bit more and sort of like try and condense it and do it over like a shorter period of time rather than giving yourself the 30 days. I think you can push yourself to get it done in like
I
15,
was
20 days.
thinking, I was
15,
thinking,
20 days, I think you'll do it in.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Because you've definitely done the walks, right? And that leads up to, I know you touched on it a bit before, roughly what your day looks like now, but you've gone from someone who's been a home workout person who now goes to the gym, someone who doesn't walk, who now does the walks, eats all the right food. So how would you now say compared to a day before in Amy's life to Amy's day now?
My day now. So I would, I'm up, I'm quite an early riser. So I'd be up in a day. My breakfast is always planned. So I have the same breakfast every day. My lunch is mapped. It's the same, usually 9 out of 10 times the same lunch every single day. I would then come home at the end of the day, and then my gym session, I would go to the gym around 8:30. Between sort of 8 to 9 o'clock, I'd be at the gym. So I'll do my workout sessions. I would have walked. So I don't take the car to the station anymore. So I walk back. So like I said, by the time it's about 4, 5 o'clock, I would have hit my 10,000 steps already. I suppose the most challenging bit is when I'm working from home. So what I then do is I block my diary for an hour and of half an hour, and I just go and literally go for a run, or I literally go for a walk just to get the fresh air. But I just make sure that I'm active throughout the day, which I never used to do before. In the summer was easier. So I used to go early morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the morning for a walk. It's become a bit harder now because of the weather. So I've invested in a walking pad. So I use that when I don't match up with my steps. But the idea is, because I think it's not just a gym, it's actually all what you do outside the gym as well in terms of staying active. So yeah, it's very, very different to perhaps, so my December last year was very, very different, complete different. Where there'll be no walking, there'll be nothing, and there'll be just eating, and yeah, there'll be nothing.
And again, sort of going back to the time thing and all of these sort of pockets of time that you're now finding to do things in your day, whether it's a walk, a quick workout, or, making your dinner rather than sort of ordering it in. How has that affected work and things like that? Because I assume before the assumption was you're sort of skipping out on walking, not training, and sort of ordering in and things like that because time felt pressured. How has that sort of now changed your work life? In terms of, are you more productive? Do you feel more energized? Are you getting that afternoon slump? Like, how does that look through your workday?
I'm on the go, and the energy is definitely there. I used to be, so we all often at work, we use, an accountability ladder. And I was at that stage where I was just denial or excuses. I don't use excuses anymore. I just do what I have to do. Um, the energy is there, productivity, work, it's just there. I have no, I could go from one place to another. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that now. It's just very, very different now. Obviously, my work has changed as well, but equally the productivity. I would like to believe I was equally productive then and now, but I think the energy levels have definitely increased, and I think that's really important. But more so, I've stopped making excuses at home because work is work. My work is quite intense. But at home, oh, it's really late. Let me make, it doesn't work. Let's get a takeout. No, it doesn't work like that anymore because I'm that much more organized. I'm that much more. I will never have a situation where I don't have food in the house. The food is there. So if I've got what I need, it doesn't stop me from cooking it. I think the problem is when you don't have the food, then you have to think, oh my God, I need to go and go do a shop, etc. So I map out what I need to make during the course of a week on a Sunday. So I have everything I need to set me up for the week. And that's how I function. And I never come home at 6 o'clock and then think what I'm going to have for dinner. It's already been mapped. If anything, a day before or a couple of days beforehand. And
Awesome.
just to mention as well, I've become very experimentative when it comes to my food. So, the dinners is what I like to experiment with. The lunch and breakfast, I try to keep it stay same because it just works and it's just easier. But dinner, like sometimes you want something variety and different things, then I do that. And actually, I have more time to do that, which I never used to have before, even though I did less. I never had gym or never had walks, never had things to do. So actually now I feel like I've got more time than had when I genuinely had more
Yeah,
time before.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens, and it's again this thing like to gain this energy, to gain this time and sort of routine and structure, you have to just give it energy. And it sounds weird, but once you sort of get out there and get some fresh air, or once you do your workout and things like that, you then gain back more energy and you can do things in a much more productive way. So it's really, really good how you've now sort of structured your day and things like that. What's been your like biggest learning, aha moment, or like the thing that you like once thought that you had to do to get into shape versus like now coming in and being like, ah, okay, this all makes sense. This is sort of how I'm going to get this done. Was there one of those? Was there a big learning point or an aha moment?
See, for me, I knew exactly what I had to do before. It wasn't like I didn't know about the whole healthy eating and the exercise. For me, it's about I had the choice to make a decision. I was the decision maker of my own life, of what decisions I wanted to make, and that's the freedom that Vinay and yourself gave me. But yet, telling me what boundaries I can push and what boundaries to stay within. Does that make sense? If I'm making sense, so
Mhm.
just being accountable of what I'm doing. I need a little bit of structure from you guys in terms of, getting a little headset on MyFitnessPal, for example, or getting a little bit around the food, around the calories. And yeah, the one thing that I probably don't have to use my brain on a lot is the exercise that you guys used to give me. So obviously that was already mapped. So I knew exactly what I needed to do there. But I think I was just on board from the word go.
yeah.
So I think the first month was a bit here and there. And I still remember Nikhil telling me, Amee, come on, let's get back into focus. We need to get do to X, Y, and Z. And I think minute I hit that first of January, I was on board. Um, and like I said, I had a colleague, a friend of mine, which I had seen tremendous results. So I knew it works. It's just a matter of me putting my head into it. I think once I was there, then I was there.
Yeah,
I didn't have a light bulb moment because I have done this before, around personal trainers, and gymming and exercising. So I know it works.
yeah.
But it was just this time round, and what I wanted was, what I didn't want is I've lost all the weight. I'm now going to stop it and I'm going to put it all back on. That's the bit I didn't want. I wanted that mindset to change that actually it's going to be something that I'm going to be doing for life.
And has it?
Mm,
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
that's
Excellent.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
so
Vinay, hopefully you you can vouch for that.
yeah, yeah,
No,
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 absolutely.
you've definitely changed your life around completely. Like from what you used to do, even like I remember having that conversation with you, me pushing you to say, I need you to get to the gym now. You're like, I'm not sure. And you went for a trial, you did, and you're like, I'm just gonna do it, and you enjoyed it. And now you find time for it, and it's become your new habit, basically.
Yeah.
There's so much more that you can do in there and things like that. And look, even if you fancy jumping on sort of the odd class or something like that, just to give it a little bit of a difference in addition to sort of the strength and toning work that you do that we give you, it's still something that you can do. Socially, sort of, how has that been managing alongside sort of the program and things like that? Like, how have you found that?
So the socially, so I've how do I put this? I have no shame now. So what that basically means, I attend a lot of meetings. Even in the meetings when I go, which is doing work, I will bring my own salad tin. So the rest of the people will be having their lunches. I have my salad, and that's okay. Before I'd be like, oh my God, I can't do that. I can't. I just go for it.
Cool.
Socially, I think the one thing I do consciously do is I do go out because obviously we do still have to go out, but I always look at the menu beforehand. So before I've entered in there, I'm never that hungry, so I make sure I'm never so hungry that I can't think. But secondly, I know exactly what I'm eating when I go in, when I'm going to the restaurant. And third, Vinay always says, don't take seconds. So yes, I'll have a starter. I will make sure I don't take seconds. So I'll eat while I have to eat and sharing. So I try not to do a lot of sharing platters because often you end up eating a lot more. And plus, then I have no idea of how much I've actually eaten. So I like to have my little load. And plus, I generally go for things which are less, grilled and etc. So I do make some conscious choices. Um, but yeah, I'm not one of those who does, oh, today's a cheat day. I can't do that. I don't believe in that because I think once you let go of yourself, I'm too scared to go back to my old habits.
Yeah.
So for
Don't
me,
don't get me
it's
wrong, the odd indulgent meal is going to occur, but I think the thing that's been key for you that's allowed you to stay on course and sort of make this a whole lifestyle is like even if you did have that indulgent meal, right back from the next meal, you're on it again. It's not a
Yeah.
case of, oh, you know what, lunch was indulgent. Oh, let's just go home and I'll make that indulgent. I'll have a bunch of dessert and things like that. It's like, cool, it's parked. I've done it in, brush it under the carpet. Let's crack on as normal, which is really, really good.
but it's just
Um,
like I won't normally pick like like a burger and chips and then a dessert and stuff like that. It's just you just feel, and actually, you just feel really lethargic after eating all those carbs. I think it's just very, very different. But yeah, like I try not to do one of those where I just eat so much on the weekend and then go back on it. I try to be sensible through the week so it's all consistent. Does that make sense?
100%. I just wanted to touch on sort of the meetings and the work side of thing and things like that, because it's probably something that a lot of people that sort of work in the corporate world could relate to. Where does that mentality come from? Where it's like, I'm going to a meeting and almost before you think, I can't bring my own thing, I have to eat what they're eating or I have to eat what's catered. Like, why that mentality and what did it take for you to change and not sort of go with the herd essentially?
So look, before this whole journey, it's just easier, right? So if somebody's paying for your lunch, it's a lovely buffet lunch that you got so many people. It's really nice. We very often get time to sit down and have lunches with your colleagues and stuff like that. It's an easier option. It's just to eat what's over there because you've got that one chance to do that. For me, often I used to end up eating stuff that I didn't really necessarily like, but also it's just easier. I think more than the mindset, it's just easier to do that. Plus, you'll also never see anybody else bringing their own tin of food. I mean, I've never known anybody to do that. In fact, it's a novelty, isn't it, when you get treated to a nice little hotel with nice food in there. And
Mm.
obviously, I do attend a lot of meetings, so mine happens a lot more. So, and for my work purposes, I tend to go to Nottingham as well. And again, there, I do I take my tin. If it's a day trip, I will take my little tin of salad. What did it take me to get into it? I thought, well, I am putting all this energy into it. I need to make that change. And no one's going to judge me over a tin of salad, are they? It's my work that they're going to judge. So actually, this is for me, and I'm going to do it. I did it once, I did it twice, and then it just became the norm. And now they know, actually, when I go for a meeting, I say, have you bought your own lunch or are you coming with us? I'll go because I love my coffee. So I will go and have my coffee with them. But I'll eat with them and I'll sit with them and
Yeah.
I'll have my lunch. And I don't feel at all that I've missed out on anything.
Good. And I'm sure that they can see the positive change in you, like obviously physically, having worked with you across the span of the year and sort of physically seeing the change in you, they're probably like, okay, you know what she's doing is like actually the thing and the work is working. So yeah, amazing.
Actually, Nick, it makes them stop. So if we're going into a meeting where they're not providing us lunch, but there's loads of different places outside to go and eat, they will actually go to places where they've actually got healthy salads because they almost
Yeah.
feel really bad that out there getting a burger or getting something really unhealthy because I'm sitting there having my little salad. So yeah.
But it's also our mindset, as you said, right? It's just you decide that you wanted to do that. But for example, take it as imagine you're allergic to something, or imagine you had an illness and you had to bring your own food, or it was because of religion. Let's say, like, you get like someone like me, Simon Aaron, there are loads of people who do other things, no onion, no garlic and stuff. If you told your work colleagues because you're having that food because of that reason, no one would have judged you at that point.
Yeah.
But you would have done it for that reason. But now that you're doing it for your own health reason, you're like, I kind of feel a bit awkward taking my own things. It's not only for work meetings, even like with friends and family. You go out and they're like, oh, I should eat what they're eating because I don't want to be a pain in the ass or I don't want to get judged. But if you're allergic or if you had a reason, no one would have cared. Everyone would have supported you anyway.
Yeah,
So it's just
absolutely.
2 years of thinking about it.
But it's good
Mm.
that you said that no one's going to judge you for what you're eating and having a salad. You're only going to get sort of looked at for sort of what you're doing, the work and things like that. So it's a great way to think about it. Absolutely great way to think about it. Yeah, final few questions. Vinay, go for it.
One about motivation. You kind of I think me and Amy both been on a call and we've talked about it, where motivation's dipped, it's lacked a bit, and you're feeling a bit like, why is it not moving? What's happening? What have you done in those moments in time to say, you know what, I need to get back on it?
I've just so I was once told by my coach that if it's not moving, that means you're doing something wrong. So it must be because you're either not mapping all your food or you're doing something wrong. So then I concentrate. So I tend to work mentally backwards. So I know I'm doing my gym, I know I'm doing my steps. So the only thing that I'm not doing properly is my food. So then, oh yeah, maybe I haven't mapped this, I haven't mapped that. So I think that's what I try to do. And you are going to have those, phases where, you feel like, oh my God, what's happening? Why is this not working? But I think I trusted the program that you guys set for me, and I know it works because otherwise I would have never lost so much weight. It's just about bouncing back. It's about, okay, now tomorrow's going to be a new day, and I'm going to bounce back, and I'm going to make sure I do things slightly differently. So then I'm extra 100% careful on what I'm mapping on my food, and now it becomes second nature to do that. Yeah.
So just about reverse engineering.
Mm.
Final question. It doesn't have to be three tips, or it could just be sort of your go-to. What would you say to someone, or what advice would you give to someone who is either starting out or going through a period of like demotivation or sort of a plateau or something like that? Like, what pieces of advice would you give to them?
So I think you've got to be in it to win it, number one. Um, you need to be, so for me, the three tips is what's worked for me is I ensure that I have planned and organized my week. So my food shop is really important. What's the most annoying thing is when you have to make something and you haven't got the right ingredients, because that's when you start swapping them with other things, or you take an easy way out. So it's ensuring you have enough food in the house, or the right foods rather than enough food, the right foods in the house. That's number one. Number two is that you know it it will take some time, but once it starts working, once you've got into routine, it does work. So you've just got to persevere, be resilient, and just keep at it. But trust the system, trust what you've been told to do, and just follow that through. And last is be accountable. You are the choice. You make your own choices, so make the right choices and stick to those. I think you've got to stick to it. I think if you don't stick to it, and that's with anything, not even just with the weight loss program. I think with anything you do, if you don't stick to something, you're not going to see the results. So it's got to be consistency, resilience. I think it's more the behaviors rather than physically what you're doing, if that makes
100%.
sense.
100%. Thank you so much, Ami, for giving us your time and sharing your insights. Your journey is definitely going to inspire people. It's very relatable, sort of the way that your lifestyle is, the way that it once was, the way that you live now.
Mm.
So, yeah, no, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, from bottom of Vinay's heart, thank you for coming on and sharing all.
No, I think thank you to both of you. I think I'm very glad I took the first step that I did last year in the program, and it's been a roller coaster, but yet a very very rewardful journey.
Yeah, good.
And
And
18 kilos left, which is always good.
I know, and your husband, and by default, obviously, your husband's been following along with what you're doing, so he's reaping the benefits of it as well. So it's a
He
win-win-win.
is, he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he is. He is, yes. Yeah.
Good, good, awesome. Thank you so much, Ami.